right, everybody, we welcome you back live here at the University of Dayton Arena. Justin Kinner, Coach George Howard with you here, continuing to bring you coverage from the 2025 OHSAA Boys State Basketball Championships. Before we recap Division IV State Championship matchup and get you set for Division II coming up around the corner, we're excited to welcome you our next guest. A historic duo right now hanging out with Coach Howard and I. It is the very first ever father-son duo, Mr. Basketball here in the state of Ohio. Sonny Johnson, of course, winning it a few years back. And Marcus Johnson, who was just presented with the Mr. Basketball trophy at halftime during the Division IV game. But guys, we really appreciate it. Right now, you're being pulled in a bunch of different directions, but giving us some time today, we really appreciate it. Congratulations, Mr. Basketball.
Appreciate you.
George, I know you got some stuff lined up real quick, but again, Mr. Basketball, Marcus Johnson, Sonny Johnson, coach of Garfield Heights, hanging out with us here today.
Hey, this is family, man. Congratulations. You know, I'm always proud of you, man. You deserve this, and I'm happy for you too. You work hard. Actually, you should be playing here, but you know, due to circumstances,
we ain't gonna talk about circumstances.
We're not. But the biggest thing is we're glad he's okay. But talk about Marcus, what it's like, man, Mr. Basketball as a junior. I mean, that means a lot. You know, how does that feel?
It's a blessing from God, you know, just winning Mr. Basketball as a junior just motivate me to work even harder, you know, so it's just motivation. Just got to keep working hard, getting better every day.
What, you know, being coached by your dad, what has it taught you, you know, being coached by your dad all these years? What has that taught you? And also in your growth and becoming a young man?
I'll say it helped me a lot, you know, in my life, you know, having my dad as my coach, you know, pushing me every day to get better, to be a good person, to be good on and off the court, you know, so just my dad pushed me every day, really helped my game.
Also, for those of you that don't know, Marcus is committed to the Ohio State University Buckeyes, and, you know, that's very special. Dad, you know, there's that smile, y'all. There's that smile. And how, as a dad, for your son to receive the same trophy that you received when you played high school, that has to be special for you.
For sure. I just congratulated him to the Ohio Mr. Basketball family, which is special to do. And then you sit back before you like, okay, Mr. Basketball, which I think he was going to win the award to me because of the year he was having. But when you really sit back and think about it, it's like unreal. Like, dang. You talk about Cincinnati, you talk about Ohio, you talk about Columbus, you talk about even Dayton, the Dayton area. I mean, all these, and you're considered the best player in the great state of Ohio. That's it's nothing more special than that.
You know, I know it was tough for you. I had mentioned to a good friend of yours, I wonder if Sonny's coming down to maybe to receive an award, and they thought maybe you wasn't coming because we know you. Yeah. And he thought maybe you didn't want to come down here because you feel like you should be here, which deservedly so. But you're here and you just watched a good game of people that you know from Cleveland. What do you think about that game that you just saw that we just watched with Glenville and Maysville?
Two outstanding teams. Glenville, you know, just the history of Glenville is just, you know, for them to make it here, it's special, man. You know, be honest with you, I was rooting with them just because I'm from Cleveland, and I know the work they had to put in, and I know how much it means to that community. But it was just two really, really good teams. You could tell the other team was here last year, if I'm not mistaken, and they had the more experience, and they didn't stop fighting, and you saw that team pull it out towards the end.
I've got to ask you this question. I know he's sitting there saying,
what is
boy.
it? Come on, George. What is it? What you got?
I want to ask you that. You've coached your other son. Uh-huh. You've coached Marcus.
Yeah. Oh, don't ask him which one's his favorite. You're not going to do that.
No,
okay.
No. Marcus will be gone in another year. How's it going to feel not having a son to coach, you know, to be there, and then you're going to have to make a decision. Are you going to keep coaching, or are you going to go travel with your son?
Well, definitely, you know, I'm going to, I've been coaching for 20 years now, so, you know, only 8 years of that has been with my boys. So the other years I enjoy seeing other kids get scholarships, and winning. You know, we done been to 4 Final Fours now. So we ain't win one yet, but that's coming. But, you know, just the success of our program, winning over 80% of our games, putting kids in college. So I think sometimes, you know, when it comes down to coaching, see people think, hey, he's going to retire But you know, when God calls you to be a blessing to kids, and you have a gift at doing that, I don't think it's my decision to retire. I'm gonna let God tell me when it's my time to step away. And regardless of what my son's gonna do, if he comes back here next year, because it's his decision. If he goes to Ohio State early, if he comes back to play for me, or if he goes to prep school, that's gonna be his decision. But I look forward to coaching the kids that are gonna be at Garfield next year.
Real quick, just to kind of feed off that a bit too. I mean, you mentioned a little bit ago, you just being a junior. You know, it's one thing if you're a senior and win this. It's a great parting gift. You go out, historic, accomplishment. But you have another year of high school left. I know you just alluded to that, but regardless of where it's at, I mean, how much of a driver is this, too? Like, you got that individual thing, but now you want that team championship. You want that team championship trophy to be hoisting up and to have another full year to work on that and accomplish that goal. How much of a driver is that, especially after getting something like this? And by the way, we're pointing it, if you want to lift it up and just show everybody at home this beautiful trophy right here. There you go.
Trying to make me hold
Yeah, I was going to say. Yeah. But how much of a motivator is holding something like this in your hands now with another full year of high school left to go, a championship obviously on the mind?
Sure, it's motivation for me. You know, I know I want to win my dad a championship my whole life. You know, growing up watching him coach a lot of good players. So I really do want to come back. You know, I don't know what I'm doing yet, but if I do, that's my main goal, to win a championship.
Fair enough.
Before he goes, he knows I love him. He's my guy, but I just want to tell him thank you. What he does for kids at his school is unbelievable. I mean, you know, the offers that he gets kids, the way he has his showcases for juniors, he does so much for youth. It's unbelievable, man. And I ain't got no flowers to give you, but you know, I give them to you.
I'll tell you, thank you. That means a lot, you know. I mean, because we in this world, you can win as many championships and Final Fours and Elite Eights, but I'll put it to you like this: is how much have you been an impact to kids' lives? How many phone calls are you receiving? My biggest joy was when we were playing those games, all my former players came back. You know, just creating that family bond, that brotherhood. I think that's more than anything. And I appreciate you saying that. I appreciate y'all interviewing us. That means a lot because, like me and my son know, this is all God's calling. This is God's favor to be here, sitting here with y'all. We're nothing without him. And at the end of the day, we're grateful to be here with y'all.
Okay, you can go eat now.
I want to go eat. Come on,
Yeah.
I want some chicken now.
He's going to finish it off.
All right, we appreciate you guys tuning in, hanging out with us here. We still have more for our expanded OHSAA pregame coverage coming your way as we get you set for Division II state championship action. We'll preview both teams and the matchup coming up. But one more time, congratulations to your 2025 Mr. Basketball winner, of course, Marcus Johnson. We appreciate you taking some time and hanging out with us. And Coach Sonny, we appreciate you as well.
Y'all. Appreciate you.
We'll be right back. Coach Howard, Justin Kidder, more live here from the University of Dayton Arena.
Welcome to the OHSAA.
Every day we work too.
Take the regulations on these pages
and to apply them to real-life situations.
To serve our member schools.
And our officials.
And to run the best state tournaments in the country.
It's our mission.
To serve our member schools.
And enrich interscholastic opportunities for students.
Welcome.
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 Welcome to the OHSAA. Welcome to the OHSAA.
Every day we work too.
Take the regulations on these pages
and to apply them to real-life situations.
To serve our member schools.
And our officials.
And to run the best state tournaments in the country.
It's our mission.
To serve our member schools.
And enrich interscholastic opportunities for students.
Welcome.
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 Welcome to the OHSAA. Welcome to the OHSAA.
Every day we work too.
Take the regulations on these pages
and to apply them to real-life situations.
To serve our member schools.
And our officials.
And to run the
All right, and we welcome you back. Massillon Perry and Westerville North getting set to do business here in the Division II OHSAA Boys Basketball State Championship. Coach George Howard, Justin Kinner back with you here, and of course, we get the panel back full once again. TJ Petros hanging out with us from NEO Spotlight, of course, and Michael Roth from Prep Hoops hanging out with us as we get you set for our Division II State Championship matchup. But first, just want to say congratulations again, Marcus Johnson and Sonny Johnson, giving us some time and hanging out with us here as you guys were coming in, of course. But Mr. Basketball, I don't think it was a surprise to see him hoisting that up here this season.
No, it wasn't surprising to me. It also wasn't surprising to see Sonny sitting down talking to you guys either. I don't think Sonny has ever said no to a camera. Love him to death. Yeah, awesome accomplishment for that family. That family is like basketball royalty in Northeast Ohio. I mean, you look at, Juby Johnson that played Division I basketball. Michi Johnson played Division I basketball. Sonny Johnson that played Division I basketball. Now you got Marcus Johnson, who's well on his way, committed to Ohio State already. Just a big-time family, good people. They deserve everything that comes their way.
Real quick before, thinking about him obviously committing to Ohio State, I remember during the early 2000s when Thad Matta was making that Final Four run, he was getting a lot of Ohio kids. He was getting a lot of Mr. Basketballs were going and committing to Ohio State. I know Chris Holtman's not the coach now. Obviously, that's Jake Diebler. But a pattern over the last 5-6 years, a lot of Mr. Basketballs have committed to Ohio State, and they've been getting the best players in the state. And Marcus Johnson was still a year of high school left. Ohio State's getting another good one here from the state of Ohio.
Yeah, absolutely. Marcus has said from a young age that Ohio State was his dream school, and thankfully he ended up being good enough to play there. So, yeah, great early commit for Coach Diebler. And, there's been talks that, maybe that, Marcus reclassifies or attends prep school next year. So I guess it would be to be determined on, where he ends up next season.
Yeah, I like the transparency from Coach Johnson and Marcus, both of them saying, hey, it's not awkward, it's not uncomfortable. We'll evaluate that, and we'll see what happens when that time comes. But you're close with them or whatever. How cool was that to see Marcus get that trophy today?
Well, I really enjoyed seeing him get that trophy. I was worried for a second, but I wasn't sure. But, talking to TJ kind of knew he was going to get it. But it's good to see him. It's good to see Sonny happy. They work hard to get that, and I think he deserved it. I really do.
All right, our Division II state championship matchup, our final state championship matchup here tonight. We have 4 more tomorrow. We got a big one here tonight. We have a team that you look at their record and you start scratching your head saying, how does a team that's a game above 500 all of a sudden go on this miracle run to get here? But that's what makes this time of year so special is these storylines. 14-13 team trying to win a state championship here tonight.
I mean, it sounds cliche, but it's a true Cinderella story. You're talking about a team that finished 5th in their own league out of 7 teams. They lost 4 of their last 5 regular season games, and then they've just found a rhythm here in the tournament. They're hot. They've won 5 games in a row. And, man, you talk about a David and Goliath type of story. I think that's exactly what, Massillon Perry is running into today with Westerville North. Westerville North, me and Roth were talking about it before we came on. You can make a case that they're a 3rd or 4th best team in Ohio, regardless of division. Their only 2 losses during the season came to St. Ignatius and Olentangy Orange at the buzzer. So, I mean, you're talking about a team whose only 2 losses have come to 2 teams that both made the Final Four in Division I.
They've won 23 straight, too, since then. It's 1 and 2 to start, and then win 23 since then. Not a bad little run to be on right now.
No, not at all. Massillon Perry's going to have their hands full. You're looking at a Westerville North team that just has a ton of guards that are just really relentless with their ball pressure. They're going to pick you up. They're going to get after it for the full 32 minutes, and they're going to pick you up the full 94 feet. So Perry's going to have to really take care of the ball, or unfortunately, this is a game that could get away from them rather early.
No, he's absolutely right. I love Westerville North. I love watching them. I've been a big fan of theirs, and they have 2 losses, and both their losses came to Division I teams, St. Ignatius and Olentangy Orange, and they were in both of those games and easily could have won at Olentangy Orange. So I think this is going to be a tough game for the other team, but as far as for North, I think they're going to play the way they play. And the good thing I like about them, and I'm going to let you speak on this, is their bench. When they bring guys in off that bench, they don't lose a beat. I mean, they don't drop. Like, they just keep on going. Am I right?
Absolutely. I mean, I saw them in their regional final, and it was quick how much they just jumped on Big Walnut. They're a team that's going to pressure you for, like TJ said, 94 feet. But the other thing they do well is they share the basketball. It doesn't matter who gets the shots. It could be Ty Perkins going off for 25 points, or it could be his little brother Tyson Perkins scoring 15. Micah Young could score 20. It's a team that has a bunch of different guys that can hurt you, and they turn steals into layups and open three-pointers faster than just about anybody in the state. So they can start raining threes in a hurry, and it just snowballs against you. If Westerville North gets some momentum, they're going to keep pushing on that run, keep trying to pull away, and they've blown out basically everybody they played this postseason. They're not only winning games by 20, they're going into halftime up 20 points more often than not.
Hey, they are. But what can you say about it? I mean, it's the way they play. They're like TJ said, they're relentless. They don't stop. They get up on you. They pressure you. They rebound the basket. The guards even rebound the basketball. And when they get it, they don't walk it up. They get down that court, don't they?
I think Roth hit the nail on the head with just how much they share the basketball. I think in the year 2025, it's hard to find teams that don't have an agenda, you know, guys that aren't looking to get theirs. Like when you watch Westerville North, they just seem like a team that genuinely enjoy playing with each other and enjoy seeing each other be successful, which I think nowadays, unfortunately, it's few and far between to find teams like that. So their success, especially, you know, now that they're in Division II, shouldn't be surprising to anybody.
You know, they're in the state championship game right now, so the idea that you're overlooking somebody in the state championship game seems kind of odd. You're dealing with 16, 17, 18-year-olds. You know, you're coaching this team right now. What's your message to them in the locker room? Say, hey, they're 14 and 13, Massillon Perry, but this is one of the hottest teams in the state. That's how they got here. How do you coach 16, 17, 18-year-olds through that mental process of making sure you don't come out and take them lightly?
Well, I mean, if you just got to tell them, hey, we're just going to have to go ahead and keep doing what got us here. I mean, you know, let's play our style of ball and let's not play to them. But, you know, I'm sure he made some adjustments because you got to make adjustments when you play them, you know. So, but I want to say this. I got to ask these guys about the last game.
Oh, yes.
You know, their thoughts on the last game. Give me your thoughts real quick on the last game.
Maysville showed the resiliency to get it done. I mean, you look at them being down 7 in the fourth quarter. It wasn't looking great for them, and defensively, they turned it up in those last couple minutes. Everybody's going to talk about Gator Nichols' his elite three-point shooting, elite scoring ability, but the difference at the end was Maysville got stops and they made free throws, things that championship teams do. Glenville, heads off to them. I mean, they shot the cover off the basketball, played a great offensive game. I thought their physicality gave Maysville a lot of problems, like we talked about in the pregame show. But at the end of the day, Maysville took care of the basketball and got done at the foul line. That's going to help you win championships.
You know, playing off of what Roth said, I thought Glenville shot it exceptionally well. If you would have told me prior to the game that Glenville would have made 2 more threes than Maysville and pulled down 6 more rebounds than Maysville did, I would have really liked their chances to win that game. But like Coach B.O. said from Glenville in the post-game presser, he just thought Maysville made more of those 50-50 plays down the stretch. And, man, we spoke about it in the pregame, how competitive those kids are from Maysville. It's like they have a boulder on their shoulder, not a chip. It's like a boulder. Those kids just, no matter what, they always feel like they have a shot to win the game. And I think they showed it again today. And what makes it even more ridiculous is they don't have a single senior on their roster, guys. Every single kid that was sitting on the bench, every single kid that touched the floor, all returns next year for Coach Dave Brown.
Good stuff. And I know as we're wrapping it up, before we send it down to our broadcast crew on Spectrum and, of course, with the OHSAA Radio Network, we send you guys out with some closing thoughts as we get set for this Division II state championship matchup between Massillon Perry, of course, and Westerville North. We've talked about the storylines. We've talked about the 2 differences in this team. Final thoughts as before we send it down to the floor.
I think this has a chance to be, the most lopsided game of the weekend. But I don't know, a part of me thinks that maybe Perry can keep it interesting for a while. They've been counted out against, Warren Harding. They were counted out against North Royalton. 2 games where they found themselves down in both and somehow ended up winning. It took a buzzer beater to beat Warren Harding, a huge fourth quarter to beat North Royalton. And I think they're going to have a huge fan base here today. So we'll see. But I think Westerville North, rightfully so, is probably the heavy favorite as we go into it.
If Westerville North does get it done, it's been a long time coming for this group. I remember, I think they lost to Westerville South 2 years in a row. Both games could have went either way. Last year they lose to Newark in the district title. So if they finally win the state title, it would have been some years of heartbreaking playoff losses for them to finally get over the hump and win the state title. That's what I expect to happen, but they have to go out there and do it, avenge their demons, because it hasn't always been playoff success. This year, smooth sailing. We'll see if they got one more game, 32 minutes, where they can prove we're one of the best teams in Ohio, regardless of division, and we're going to hold up that Division II state title trophy with pride.
And it goes back to what these guys were saying. When you look at a basketball team that plays together, that trusts each other, that shares the ball with each other, coachable kids, that has a great coaching staff where from top to bottom they believe in each other, that's Westerville North. And that's why they're so enjoyable to watch. And I believe that they're going to get it done today, and they're going to be state champions, but they deserve it.
All right, Westerville North, Maslin Perry, your Division II OHSAA Boys Basketball State Championship. We're moments away from tip-off, pregame coverage taken over on our OHSAA Radio Network affiliates and, of course, on Spectrum. We appreciate you guys tuning in and hanging out with us. Thank you guys again. Really appreciate you as well, bringing your expertise to the table. 3 state championship games almost in the books, 1 more to go, but we got 4 more big ones tomorrow as well. And they have a lot of work. These games have been fantastic today. They have a lot of work to live up to this stuff. So.
And we got a big one in the morning.
Yep, that's
we
your morning
open up
juice.
with a big one, so we will see you guys in the morning. Get your thoughts, because we open up with a big one. So tune in the morning, because we'll be here.
There you go.